Recently, one of my viewers gave me these things in my inventory, and I certainly at first looked confused. I kinda know what these things are, but I thought they are mostly a very useless item in this game. Until I realized you can build items that require 99 construction while having 1 construction level. And here's how it works. They are called flatpacks, and nobody uses them, but they just might be one of the most OP items in the game. You see, I have a 76 construction, but somehow I have construction items in my BOH that require well over 90 construction level, like this marble magic wardrobe. Essentially, what the flatpack does is remove the need for construction levels. Certain furniture in this game can be turned into flatpacks and then just used inside your BOH. For instance, all of these mahogany flatpacks require 80 plus construction. Now granted, yes, I could boost for it, or I could just make my life easier and use the flatpack on this. Again, I don't have the levels for these things. Now granted, they don't work for all items, like we don't have flatpacks for rejuvenation pools and nexus portals, but I think it's pretty OP that you can put a level 96 construction wardrobe into your BOH while having 1 construction. And that got me thinking, is there any other fun little facts in this game that could benefit the player, or just overall good to know? Well, let's find out. This is fun and interesting facts with Kribus. Okay, let's start with some lighter stuff, quite literally. Did you know there is a brightness value to all lightable items in Oldschool Runescape? There's a total of 3 levels. For instance, the Abyssal Lantern has a value of 3, while the normal torch and candle has a value of 1, which is the lowest. You would also think different colors of bullseye lanterns work the same, but they don't. You see, if I light this bullseye lantern, the normal one, it has a light value of 3. But if I put the sapphire in, it lowers the value to 2. Funnily enough, the emerald one also has 3. And all of this affects how well you can see in dark places. And not only that, the levels stack on top of each other. So even though, for instance, a simple candle has a level 1 brightness, if you bring 3 of them, that equals the same amount as the Abyssal Lantern. The highest you can go is level 3, so anything above that won't make your caves brighter. There is light at the end of the tunnel after all. Sorry, no more awful dad jokes. Let's move on. Let's talk about fire caves and how to achieve your first one. You see, for years the biggest problem with fight caves was that you can easily clean out the first 62 waves, but then blank on Jad. Well, there is a way to fix that now. You can practice Jad infinitely in-game until you feel comfortable to get the actual cape. And here's how to do it. Log into any speedrun world and select the quest Beneath Cursed Sands. Every time you start a speedrun quest, you are given a loadout gear and supplies. In this quest, one of the items you get is a fire cape, and that allows you to access the other side of the Tsar city. What you do now is teleport to fight pits or find a way to the Tsar city and move to the deeper areas of the city until you find a minigame teleport on the north side. After speaking to this NPC, you can immediately start practicing for Chad fight infinitely. You don't waste any supplies, you don't have to spend over an hour or 62 waves to get to Chad, and what's even better, this version of Chad is slightly harder, so once you have this down, you can easily take on the actual fight caves Chad. Granted, the only weapon you have here is a rune crossbow and your range level is 85, but it's good enough to practice. It's a good way to get over your nerves because if you blank, you can just go again straight away until you feel comfortable enough to take on the actual chat. And soon enough, you can start bragging your fire cape to your friends that still don't have it. And you know how someone also always brags that they discover big celebrities way before they got famous? Well, you can do that exact same thing if you subscribe to this channel. Mwah, love you. Next up, we have Marks of Grace. Few weeks ago, the lovely team of Oldschool Runescape Wiki came out with a full explanation how they finally work after people have been trying to figure out this for years. There's a lot of math behind this, and I'm gonna save you the trouble. Too long didn't read is that every time you complete a lap, there is a 1 in 3 chance to receive a Mark of Grace. Except for one course. The thing I noticed is that if you wanna get your full Graceful outfit the fastest, you should do Kanifi's agility course, because that place has 2 in 3 chance to receive a Mark of Grace. So far people thought that after you get 60 agility, you should move to Seer's agility course, but apparently that's not the case anymore, at least if you're only here for marks. You see, there's a mechanic where after you are 20 agility levels above the intended course, you basically stop getting Marks of Grace. But There is a bug going on where this doesn't stop with Kanifi's agility course, and only this course. So technically you can be level 85 agility and Kanifi's course will still give you the most amount of marks of grace per hour. Even with diaries, Kanifi's course is still actually one of the best for marks. On average, it takes 15 hours to get the entire Graceful set here, and that's the fastest way to get it unless you have RT Elite Diary completed. So the most optimal way is to get 35 agility and with the use of summer pies get the Graceful outfit as soon as possible. Or even if you somehow manage to have 80 agility, the Kanifi's course is still the best way to get it. Okay, it is time for quick fire round. In this episode I have something very good for you planned. You see, on the 27th of October, Jagex announced that they're gonna move the threshold for polls to pass from 75% to 70%. And I thought, why not go through all the polls that have passed over 70% of votes in the past but still not have been implemented into the game. Let's start with a quick fire round. The Ring of Elements was supposed to be a free-to-play item, but got only 74.8% of votes instead of the 75 needed. Vestas Longsword, one of the most powerful PvP weapons in the entire Runescape, was supposed to enter this game, but unfortunately only got 74.6% of yes votes, missing by only 0.4. Jagex polled the question: should the players unlock a shortcut through the entire underground pass after you have completed the quest? But unfortunately only 70.4% of players wanted this. This was also polled a year later, and this time 73.1% wanted this. The Blade of Saldar was supposed to have a special attack called the Saldar's Strike, increasing your damage dealt by 50% and knocking your enemies back. But unfortunately only 70.5% of players wanted to see this in-game. There was supposed to be a superior version of the prayer potion after Theater of Blood came out into Oldschool Runescape, requiring 91 herblore and offering extra prayer restores, plus restoring more prayer points over time. But only 71.7% of players wanted to see this in the game. Also, 71% of players wanted minus lamps to be added into Oldschool Runescape, which remove 50 experience from any combat skill of their choosing, and you can only get total of 10 lamps on one account. There was a poll asking players if they want to have a custom arrangement on their prayer books, so essentially filters that we already have a magic spellbook, but now on prayers. You can also resize your icons. 72% of players also wanted to remove the Wilderness Stitch. And 72% of players voted yes on being able to buy RuneFest tickets and accommodations through Oldschool Runescape funds. And lastly, the most important update we still haven't gotten, there was an official poll on ModRonan's Twitter asking if we should change the range skill to Rudy Doody, Pointy and Shooty, and 80% of the player base agreed. This was many years ago, yet when I logged in, it was still called the range skill. I am thoroughly disappointed. Okay, well, this was very sad to hear that none of these updates have made it into the game, but it's time to move on to much lighter things. Let's talk about levels. Did you know that there are only 2 skills in Oldschool Runescape that have unlocks at every single level, and those 2 skills are smithing and construction? Funnily enough, if you have in-game sounds turned on, there is always 2 jingles playing when you level up. One jingle is when you unlock something new within that skill, and another jingle plays when you don't unlock anything new. In January 7, 2016, Jagex released Shazian armor into this game, and with that there was an unlock at every smithing level from 1 to 99. And the official didn't unlock anything at this level jingle for smithing was officially removed from this game. So here is one last time to remember that jingle. And finally, I think some of you might actually know this, but there is an item called the Soul Bearer which sends your ensouled head straight to the bank. It is a super useful item for Iron Man and doing Slayer, as most ensouled heads are extremely profitable and people just seem to not pick them up. So from now on, you have no excuse to not bring this item with you, because it either gives decent extra GP or free prayer experience. Well, this was it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe or like the video to help me out, and if you want to see more fun facts, click on this video right here. But for now, I'll see you in a few days with another video. I love you all so very much. Bye. Mwah.